Flagstaff home. Today, what I'm going to talk about is more stuff in my garden, and that is about growing lettuce and growing it in stages. So you can have lettuce that you can go pick for a salad all summer long. Lettuce and other kinds of greens are one of the easiest things you can grow. So if you're kind of new to gardening, this really is something you should try. And you can also, you don't have to have a lot of space to grow greens. And so I usually do a mix of greens. I kind of mix in different kinds of seeds. That way, when I'm going out to my garden to pick the lettuce, it's not just all one kind. It's sort of a variety of colors and textures and shapes of the leaves and all of that. So I wanted to show you what my garden looks like right now. I started some lettuce about a month ago, I guess, maybe a little bit more than that. Let it grow for a couple weeks, then started some more. And I kind of do that throughout the summer so that there are different sizes of lettuce all the time, and then I can focus in on one little area to use to harvest for salads. And then when that one needs to grow back a little bit more, then I move over to the next one, and then when that one needs to grow back some more, because the lettuce will just keep growing. You don't have to yank the whole thing out. When that one kind of needs time to grow back, usually this one's ready to go back to. And after you harvest a couple of times in a certain area, those plants are going to be done. So then in the meantime, I've started another row, so I kind of keep those things going. So let me just stop talking here and take you out to my garden for a little sneak peek at the greens that are growing.
These are some salad greens that I planted probably about, I don't know, maybe a month ago. Okay, you have to forgive the dog that's barking next door. But I planted these, and I did a variety. I did like green lettuce and some spinach, and then over here I did some spicy Italian greens. So you wouldn't want to make a whole salad out of these. You just want to add in a few to add a little bit of spiciness to a salad. And so I planted these, and then a couple weeks after I planted these, I planted these, and there's some shade on here, so let me see if we can get these. Yeah. So a couple weeks later I planted these, and they're coming up just fine. The whole idea of planting in stages, though, is that when you get one batch of salad greens that are ready to eat, then you start picking away at those. So these guys, of course, will be the ones that I start picking away at. Not yet, though. They're still too small. And then, so I'll start picking away at those, and you don't pull them completely out of the ground. You just pinch off pieces of them. You probably only want to pinch maybe about a third of the plant each time. If you take off too many of the leaves, then the plant won't recover. But anyway, you do that, and then they'll continue to grow back, and you can continue to harvest on these for a while. And then they kind of get to a place where they're sort of done. And then by that time, this batch that I have growing over here is going to be big enough to start harvesting. And so then I'll start working on that one. And then in the meantime, what I'll do on this batch over here that I've just kind of finished is I'll plant new lettuce seeds. But what I'm doing right now is I'm going to start another, these are walls of water, by the way, that my tomatoes are in. But these, right along here, I'm going to plant some more lettuce seeds today. And then those will be the next batch that will be ready. And the whole idea is that you just kind of keep fresh batches of lettuce seeds, or of lettuce growing, so that you always can come out and harvest your greens for a salad at any time in the summer. If you do them all at once, you'll have too many, and then you won't be able to eat all of those. Then they will get, if they go to flour, then that they won't taste good. They'll be really bitter, and so you don't want them at that point. So this just keeps a nice batch of lettuce going all summer long. And actually, I say all summer long, that's not really true. Lettuce, likes cool weather. So they're really good to plant in the spring and then again toward the end of the summer. And I've even harvested greens into the fall, where I've actually gone out to my garden and I've scraped snow off of my garden and gotten the greens out from underneath them. So they're pretty hardy, but they don't like heat and they'll faint really easily. So they're really good to plant at the base of tomatoes, which is what I've done here. So the tomatoes are going to grow up and then shade these, and so then that'll help. If you have like a tunnel sort of thing that maybe you're growing snap peas on, you can plant them underneath that, and then that will protect them from the sun as well.
So that's it. It's really simple. And like I said, I like to get a variety of kinds. So I think I have butterhead lettuce, and that kind of grows in a little loose head sort of. There's another kind that's just a green lettuce, green leaf lettuce, and it's just you know, it's just leafy. You can get a red leaf lettuce. If you don't, I always mix in spinach. This year I mixed in some kale, and then I mentioned that I got this spicy Italian mix, and that you don't want to make a whole salad out of because there's a lot of really spicy greens in there. So just take a little bit of that in to add some different flavor to your salad. But you can go and buy a whole bunch of different kinds of things and just sort of sprinkle them all in together in your rows. But you could also buy what is called a mesclun mix, M-E-S-C-L-U-N, mesclun, and it is a mix of different kinds of greens that you can just, you know, sprinkle in, so you don't have to buy a whole bunch of different packages. But because I go through a lot of it, I usually do just buy the packages and mix them myself. I also grow chard. I don't mix that in with the salad greens. Chard takes longer to grow, so I plant it in a different area in the garden. And so here's another great thing about growing salad greens is that you can grow them in pots. Just get yourself a good sized pot. And so if you live in an apartment and you have a balcony and can't, you have no other place to grow, you can do that. And I would mix in my salad greens there. You can do the same thing where maybe you plant the seeds all along the outer edge, and 2 weeks later you kind of come in and make another circle a little bit farther in and then plant in the middle, and then you can kind of harvest in different places from there. But really simple to do. I used to grow greens in pots a lot when I was, when I didn't have as much space. Also, I used to live in the Phoenix area where it's very hot in the summer. And what I would do is I grew my greens in big pots then, because that way, when it was in the hottest part of the day, I could take those big pots and roll them under my patio overhang, and so then they didn't get just torched by the sun. So yeah, they're really super easy to grow. Now, you saw that I was growing kind of along the edge of a raised bed garden that I have, and then they're doing fine now. We are not in the warmest part of our summer. We don't get terribly hot here in Flagstaff. Maybe we get up to about 93, but so the lettuce greens salad greens are doing pretty well out there right now because our temperatures are only in the upper 70s right now. As we get more towards the middle of summer, when it's going to get warmer, and we do have pretty harsh sun here, most every day here is just blue sky, and we just rarely have an overcast day. And so lettuce greens, as I mentioned in that clip, they don't like heat, and they don't like being blasted by the sun. They will completely faint and flatten out. And sometimes if you water them, they'll perk back up, and sometimes they're just goners. So what I do is, as my tomato plants begin to grow bigger, then I start tucking the lettuce seeds in between the tomato plants. And I tuck them all in through there because they're being shaded by the big tomato plants. And so if you have a place like that where you can tuck those seeds in, it's a really good idea to do that, or try to plant it in a place that's shady. I have one part in my yard that no matter where I plant the lettuce, it just fades and wilts because it gets blasted so hard by sun in the middle of the day. So that's the biggest thing you have to think about. So when you plant them just a 1/4 inch below the surface of the soil, make sure that when you're starting them out, you water them every day. You do not want your soil to dry out. So don't plant them if you're gonna go be out of town for a while. You have to keep them wet. So you go out every morning and just wet the area down. And then as soon as you'll start to see those little things come up, like you could see there, then you don't have to water them every day. And they'll send out roots that are deeper looking for the water that is farther below the surface of the soil. So just make sure you keep them nice and wet while they're growing. And I hope that this video was helpful for you, and I hope your gardening endeavors are going well. Would love to hear what you're growing these days. So if you would like to, just comment below. I always get back to people and answer and reply to those comments. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd so love it if you would. Just hit that button right there. YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos to this channel, which is a couple times a week. Once or twice a week, I guess. Also, don't forget to go over to my blog at myflagstaffhome.com, where I will kind of walk you through the steps of planting your lettuce. And you can also, if you look in the space below, there will be a link that will take you directly to that post. Hope I'll see you again. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.